born once. Isn't that so crazy to think about? You were so impressionable, you were so supple, so unmarked by the world, and with so much potential. And you had to be this way. You had to be almost superhuman in your adaptive capacity so that you could learn how to operate in life, so that you could learn how to act, how to be. And if you were lucky, then you grew up in a safe environment and you learned okay patterns. And these patterns made you firm so that you could take responsibility. You had to become someone with more of a spine, with a thickened skin, because a young person has all the potential, but they don't produce resources. They can't care for other people, and they don't know how to get out of binds. And so you became hard. You became weathered. And no matter how weathered you become, no matter how hard you become, how patterned you become, it doesn't mean that you're going the wrong way. It doesn't mean that you're too far gone to experience full consciousness, full being in high resolution. In fact, that hardening is an equally important part of your journey as the pureness that you started with. Because after the hardening is the softening. The softening is how you find your way out of that unique puzzle that you've wound yourself into, purely by trying to cope with the world, purely by having to be responsible for something, having to feed yourself, having to meet needs. And so in the softening is your unique key. This is where you exist for the benefit of others. You can understand uniquely how to escape from a very particular kind of struggle. And you can find many different ways to do that. So there's this constant process of seeking, losing, getting bound, releasing. And through it, we just discover what it is to be human. And we discover through our own experience how to soften into and be humbled by the struggle, and therefore connect with others and recognize that we all have struggles no matter what our life looks like on the outside. So this is the beauty of it. When you think you're walking the wrong path, when you think something has gone wrong in the design of your life, sit behind the thoughts and realize that this design is perfect. And that there's something you need to realize. And that when you realize it, you will have given up a part of your skin and bone potential. It will have taken you time. You will trade time for wisdom. But the kind of wisdom that you will gain exists outside of time. The kind of value that you gain back in exchange for your sweat, your tears, your blood is ineffable. It's the kind of wisdom that will let you see all of the tricky, beautiful, intricate illusions and patterns and the constant back and forth of duality, the constant looping. And when you can see that and you realize that it just goes on and on and on, you can kind of step off a little bit sometimes. For some people, probably more of the time than others. But you have to see the patterns before you can understand the nature of the patterns. When you understand the nature of the patterns, you can stop being so patterned while still functioning. I think sometimes when you find someone who has stepped off but is still able to function beautifully, it's like they've got this youthful luster in their eyes. They've got this glow. They could be young, they could be old, but not every old person has it. And these are the people who've kind of realized it. But equally, those who haven't can be just as generous, because sometimes there is no way to realize a pattern or that you're bound up in it other than to come across someone who is equally bound up in it or who's bound in a different way, and to have that reference point. So there's no such thing as more woke and less woke in the people that you interact with. There's no such thing as meeting some people that are better than others. It's an inside game for you. It's a one-person game and you're the only one playing, and everyone else is feedback and everyone is precious and important for how they are, and you need to interact with them in the right way for you to learn what you need to learn. You can't just copy, and you can't just run away from.